I recently read the book On the Dive by author Seth Godin. Seth never challenges the winners of the mantra, and says it is very bad advice if you never stop wetting your bed. If you do not leave this job at a Burger King in high school, otherwise you should never stop selling a product that's out of date. Time winners quit all of the time. The winning investor quits investing money in losing stocks, so he or she has the cash to take a position in winning stocks. If I do not stop investing 5 years ago, you have got no money to take a position in Netflix today. The winners know they need lots of your time, money and energy a day, so quitting smoking is a necessary strategy to require advantage of the higher opportunities. And when it involves your career and business, the sole opportunity worth investing in is that the chance to become much loved. Seth says that if you weren't visiting reach first place, you may be resigning now. When Jack Welch was the CEO of he quit funding any just company that wasn't first or second in its own markets. By doing so, released capital to take a position in product lines where it was the most effective or had a high probability of becoming the most effective. The result increased J's market share from $12 billion to $280 billion over 20 years from the CEO. It seems that being favorite is underestimating gravely, would Seth say. We reward the producer with a song or the organization or employee that ranks first. The rewards are so skewed that this is often typical for getting variety. 10 times the maximum amount as taking advantage of the amount 10, and 100 twice to profit from the amount 100. This is often a wise investment of some time and energy, because once you become favored, you're the primary thing on people's minds and also the possibly place during which they'll invest their money. What's the primary thing that involves mind? Once I say a restaurant or an electrical car, I'd bet, however, most of you thought that Starbucks and Tesla Motors, for whatever reason we prescribed, that these companies and products are the most effective in their field and sense of the simplest. They're the primary thing that we consider when buying something there in space. But you will think that becoming the most effective takes a really very long time to deserve it. Well, it's true sometime, but because of Google it's now easier and more profitable than ever. Google allows people to go looking for specific solutions to specific problems supported their specific preferences. Seth says the mass market is dying, and there is now not the only best song nor the simplest genre out there immediately. 1 million mini markets, but every mini market still has the most effective. If your mini market is organic markets in Tulsa, then this can be your world, and being the simplest during this world is the place for you. If you're the simplest organic market in Tulsa, folks that visit Tulsa will find you through an easy Google search, but it better be the most effective, because visiting vertical bar, they'll not waste their time going to the fourth best market in town unless they need already tried the highest three. For example, you stop doing everything that doesn't contribute to being favored and allocate your limited time and energy to become the simplest in an exceedingly desirable field or small market. Initially, you're filled with excitement, relearning at a rapid rate and getting plenty of feedback and seeing results, but then newness fades and your results begin to say no. It's now not fun. It's frustrating at this time. How does one know if it is a regression with great results on the horizon, or if it's heading towards a dead end? To search out if it is a regression or a dead end, you would like to understand who affect him. Let's suppose you're trying to become the primary author of children's fiction books. You've got a proposal for a replacement book, and also the goal is to influence your favorite publisher to just accept your suggestion and support your first children's book. If you're rejected the primary time, you will persist, but this insistence has limits. If this publisher isn't interested, your insistence can quickly become the annoyance of making a wall between you and this publisher and make it impossible to alter their minds. But if you're trying to influence the publishing market, your persistence will likely pay off. After being rejected by many publishers, you may find ways to enhance the proposed rejections. And what enough of your rejection in your suggestion would be adequate for somebody within the publishing market to contemplate the very fact that several publishers have rejected you. It doesn't matter much when there are numerous publishers who haven't heard of you before. With enough iterative optimization, you may eventually be able to appeal to the interests of one publisher who will seize the chance in your book and facilitate your along the thanks to becoming beloved. When J.K. Rowling was proposing her fictional book Harry Potter, She was rejected 12 times but continued to insist because she was trying to appeal to a market of publishers instead of one publisher. So who is trying to influence a market or a private? If you influence an exceedingly market, it's time to stay increasing your odds of continuous by pulling back, and you do not need to decide when to dropping before the downturn starts. When a sensible investor buys a share, it puts a stop-loss limit on his purchase, a condition that if fulfilled will cause him to automatically sell their shares traditionally and accepting a loss unless there's a fundamental change within the market. The investor will remain committed to his investments until the preset exit condition is met, which prevents him from exiting the position early and losing significant returns before investing within the plunge. To the identical supermarathon, Dick Collins said once, "Decide before a race what conditions will cause you to prevent and drop out of faculty. You do not want to be there and you say, well, my legs hurt a touch dry, I'm sleepy, I'm tired and cold and windy." Consult with yourself about quitting smoking. If you create a call supported how you are feeling there in moment, then it's likely that you simply will make the incorrect decision to avoid making impulsive decisions and abandonment. The trouble you would like to line your limits before entering a dive. What quantity time does one want to spend? What proportion money are you willing to lose? The number of pain you'd wish to endure before quitting that itself. Bearing in mind that you just have to enter into a termination contract with yourself and pledge to not quit unless you cross those limits or change something fundamental with a termination contract. You'll be able to calmly face a state of panic and relapse by asking yourself, was the predetermined quitting terms I met changed something fundamentally? Okay, I would like to state that within the end, if you'll be able to not be the most effective time to quit smoking, it'll release precious resources, so you have got the chance to speculate within the activities that may allow you to become better. The fastest thanks to become the simplest is to travel through more lows that are the most. Message I'm collecting from Seth's book. It's a brief read and that I highly recommend it to anyone who is afraid to quit smoking or just quit whenever that happens too difficult. Thanks for watching.